My name's Bobby Dietz, and this video is about influencer marketing, how to get the most out of your money, how to negotiate contracts, and how to keep influencers happy by blocking hateful or hurtful comments. The first step in negotiation is to make sure you reach out to an influencer with a dollar amount in excess of whatever they would typically receive for a promoted post. And industry standards are going to tell you what they should get. Now there's downsides to this strategy, and I'll talk about those later in the video, but for now let's just focus on the strategy and how to execute it. So if an influencer is typically going to get $500 for a post, you want to make sure you reach out to them and offer them right away $650. But there needs to be the stipulation that 150 of those dollars are put towards promoting the post after 48 hours, 62 hours, whatever you decide. At some point after the organic reach is over, we want them to promote it for 150 of those dollars. They can handle it. Just press the promote button, $150. Now this does two things for you. The first benefit to this strategy is that you're going to get a very quick reply. You're going to get a deal done quickly because the influencer sees that they're at least perceives that they're going to make more money up front because it's a bigger dollar amount than they're used to seeing. So they get negotiating, oh, okay, they want me to promote it, but at least you're already talking to them. Even though they're going to make the same amount of money, they reply to you quickly. Very beneficial when you're trying to put deals together. The second benefit is a little bit less obvious, but it's very real, and it's that influencers do not want to promote their own posts. For some reason, it makes them feel like they're trying to get the like count up, and that's bad because everyone's going to see that they're promoting a post and maybe they think it wasn't doing good, so you're trying to pump it. And as a result, they want to make sure that the content that's being promoted to other people in the audience is really good, and they want to make sure that people see it and like it. So they end up working way harder on these posts that they're going to promote every time we get better content when we're doing deals. So I would encourage you to keep that in mind, that influencers are going to go above and beyond because they know for sure it's going to be exposed to more people than they typically would have it exposed to, and potentially new people that might follow them. So there's a benefit for them there, but that's not the way it's looked at. Something else to consider when you're doing influencer marketing is what's called a dark post, and that is essentially buying content from an influencer, having them do custom photos for you, maybe 10 or 20, and paying them for those photos. $40, $50 per photo seems to be the market rate. If it's a fancy influencer, maybe it would be more. And then using those photos to promote the product, but doing it through their brand. Essentially, you just have the influencer grant you advertiser access, so you have access to their profile for advertising purposes, and then you can place an ad through your ads manager through their page. And that counts for Facebook and Instagram. And what you've just done is managed to get a sponsored content through their page promoted to their audience. Now you cannot block their followers exactly. It's not like there's a button that says block all the people that like my page or follow my page like there is on Facebook. So there's a real benefit to doing a dark post because you can push the ads into their followers' feeds, but you don't have to pay the premium for actually having an organic post in an influencer's feed. And that's where the real value is when working with influencers, is getting an organic post into the feed. And if you're not paying that for the premium, what are you paying for? You're just paying for pictures, and you just saved a ton of money. Something to keep in mind and expect is the payment terms on this. Industry standard is 1% of spend for a dark post. So you're gonna pay for the pictures, but you also should expect, if it's a decent sized budget anyway, if it's $100, don't worry about it. But if you're talking about pumping this content through their profile, make sure that you expect them to ask you for 1% of spend. Now, if an influencer asks you to block their followers, you cannot do that. So you can tell them, I cannot block your followers. It is not a functionality that Instagram allows, as of the making of this video anyway. Now you can do that on Facebook. You can block the people that like their page on Facebook, but not Instagram. Now, what you can do is, and I wouldn't volunteer this information necessarily, is you can block all the people, you can create an audience and block all the people that have engaged with the page in the last X amount of days, and then that can be the people that you omit from seeing the ad. But again, I wouldn't volunteer that information. The whole point of doing a dark post and this strategy in general is to try and get into their feed, the people's feeds, without actually paying the premium to do so. So one of the biggest problems with promoting a post that an influencer posts organically into their feed and then you take it and you pump it is they get an audience of people that are their followers and are not their followers that see the image or video, whatever it might be. And a lot of those people are trolls and they just are haters and gonna put nasty comments in. And that is one of the reasons that influencers are so opposed to letting posts get promoted. They understand that it's valuable, they just really don't want to do it. It's not just the fact that they don't want to promote the post for image sake, it's that there's gonna be nasty comments that people say about them. The trolls just come out of the woodwork, out of their basements, and they say some nasty stuff to these people. So let's avoid that problem. This functionality is built into Facebook and Instagram. I was curious about this because I'd used it in Facebook in the past, and I was really wondering if you could do it on Instagram, and the reason I'm adding this in is because you can do it with Instagram too. Essentially what you're doing is adding keywords into the back end in Facebook, saying any comment with this specific word, if it's fake or scam or whatever the word is, swear words, whatever they are, you're adding those in as do not allow comments with this keyword in it. And anybody says that can post their comment, but it just won't display. It's fantastic. This is the difference between having an influencer that's upset and doesn't want to do this kind of thing with you anymore and somebody who has a pleasant experience and doesn't really have any haters come out on them. So let's talk about how to do it. Very simple process on Facebook. You go up to the page, go into the settings, go into general, and then page moderation. And in there, you can, my recommendation anyway, is to open a Word document, write all your keywords out, separated by commas, copy and paste into this section. There's way more words allowed than you can think of. A whole page of text will fit in this thing. And I recommend keeping a document readily available for you to copy and paste into this area and use the exact same one with Instagram, and I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. Once you're done, just save that and move on. None of those comments will be able to be displayed. To do this on Instagram, you hit Settings, Comment Controls, Activate, Hide Offensive Comments, and then Manual Filter. And then you just add all the words in the same exact way, hit save, and you're good to go. Make sure you use all these tips next time you are working with influencers, and let me know in the comments any success stories. I'm really interested to see if you guys like some of these tips that I'm talking about.